So thank you very much for the survey today. If I get a chance, I'm going to update and edit this video, but in a much shorter form with a focus on a single issue and anything that might be affecting it and some additional information. But here is the unedited version, and in the email there are all the recommendations and actions. I've used AI to do it, just makes it quicker and also more accurate. Less is dropped through, and I quickly read through it to check that it all makes sense. But I will double check before sending the final version. Note, I do the data loggers when I send off the final version. So thank you very much, and have a listen. So I'm guessing it's around this side. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Some hygroscopic salts are damp proofed in the past. We'll take it some excerpts. Yeah, so do you want to show me where the issues are?
Yeah, it kind of, I think, to be honest, it's quite all over really.
Okay. It's a lovely big flat.
Yeah, so I put one of those things there.
Data logger,
this wall gets quite particularly wet in the winter.
Yeah, all the way up there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have a good look at that.
I'm not sure. You're welcome to. This could be a corner if you do need to.
So did you say three years here? Two years.
Yeah. And this wall also gets very wet in the winter.
Okay, right.
I think, if we ever go away for a few days, we come back and it does just feel very.
Humid.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of evidence of
right. Okay.
a lot has gone on.
And what's this in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we'll have a good look there.
Behind the doors in this video.
So you got, oh right, okay. So there's a data logger there and in the bedroom. Are there any, are there other ones or?
I put one in the living room too.
Okay, good.
I think that the back wall, I mean it's a mess, but this is...
Okay, I'll have a good look at that.
So yeah, we recently had an electrician round because all the electricity, and so this socket is out of use because there's underfloor water damage. So he was proposing having to come back and lift up.
So what? There's rot, is there?
I don't know. We haven't lifted them up yet.
Yeah.
But
do you want me to lift them? I'm happy to.
Yeah, I'll try to show you the other.
Probably not
socket.
a bad idea.
And the other socket that doesn't work is this one in the corner. Because I guess they're part of the same thing. So what? So yeah, we can always.
So what you want to know is that you're not getting dampness in the subfloor void, and that you don't have rot there, because that's key. That's a big problem if you do.
Okay.
Potentially dry rot.
Right.
But hopefully not.
And then
Are you a musician then?
Yeah, I did play the French horn.
You played the French horn? Oh right.
I thought that because this carpet's already,
I
don't know, been lifted up, that'd be quite an easy one.
I'm just going to pull the carpet up as much as I can do. We're putting a probe in underneath the floor, get it as far down as we can. There we go, that'll be fine. And trap it a little bit, keep the air separate, give it a bit of time. It's already gone up quite dramatically, which is a bit concerning, but we'll have a look shortly. So this is a thermal imaging camera. This time of year you can't necessarily see a huge amount, but there's a certain amount of heat loss around that area.
Okay.
And we'll go into this room. This is the front living room. Going to the damp zone here in the corner. Again, there's an area of heat loss. I think you've got moths there, carpet moths. Sorry? And this is the bedroom. So these are relative numbers that are changing all the time. We'll just get this out. And then Are there other areas in the kitchen, maybe around here? Oh, here. So this is using a damp meter in radio wave. Maybe if you can see wave. And it's all the way up. The fact that it's going so high, it's about 1.7 meters. I'll have a look on the outside, but that tells me something. Okay, that's 100% there. And then it's in the wall here. 100% there. Oh, the 100%. It's just a number. It's sort of theoretical capacity to hold moisture. So it's all the way along there. Probably in here. We can't really see a lot. This is dry line, so that will hide it. And this is probably dry lined as well. This metalwork is corroded and it's shorting. And then to the front here. Yeah, I mean, as we suspected, it's down the front area there. The floor here, slightly distorted, but it doesn't feel like it's heavily rotted, so I think you're okay. But there is a risk of rot in the subfloor void. You see, it keeps going up. It's now 84. You've got the drain near to the damp area in this study. You've got water there, which is a good sign because it's there to stop the smells getting through. So it suggests that it isn't cracked in this bit, but it could be cracked further along. There's subfloor ventilation there, but it looks like it's blocked up. So it's probably worth unblocking it. That's going to be quite close to where it's further on from where I've got the probe. The probe is about there. So now the drain, it seems to be okay. This is where it's been damp proofed and there's damp on the inside. Damp proofing actually makes things worse from a damp perspective. Minor thing, but there's a crack there. There's drip guard, so that's a good thing. I can see some hygroscopic salts, but they're not going to cause internal dampnesses. This is split. Yeah, you want to take the plant out and put some cement-based mortar on top. Likewise, take the plant out there and along there. I put a fillet of cement as well. The drains run along there to there.
That's what the reason was.
So this is an echo drain.
Yes,
and
this has just been put in.
Just put in.
Literally.
Because it drains and it's drained to there.
It goes underground.
And then the plinth is you've got cement-based mortar.
What
you want to have that
they've put lots of stuff on here, this bit.
Oh, yeah.
They put some sort of, I don't know,
membrane
some sort of
type
mastic
material.
and membrane, yeah, and some sort of mastic and stuff like that to stop the water ingress.
Oh, interesting. That's been overflowing.
Oh right.
Yeah, that.
I don't know where
Okay.
that would come from, actually.
Is it overflowing upstairs? Probably the boiler or something. No, toilet maybe.
It's toilets actually. Yeah.
Upstairs though. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
upstairs, yeah.
Okay, that's really useful. That's really interesting. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Nick.
it's just-
We'll have a look at this shortly. There's a trap there, so that seems to be okay. I would just check that water flows away, but it seems to be okay, not blocked. I would put in a fillet of cement at the base of the wall here. but you know, it won't account for your major issues. You've got the dampness in here around this area. Interesting. And now the understair cupboard here.
Yeah.
In the neighbouring property.
I don't know if
There's dampness there.
yeah, you can see it's damp there. You can see on the wall there.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's coming away. Okay.
So
And
the same thing,
have you got it further along as well?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just.
I'm trying to think of the configuration because it's different. Because you enter. So this is the stair behind.
Just along this bit.
Just there.
Yeah.
And this is literally the understair
Yeah.
cupboard. So
There's no obvious reason from us. I mean, we've got no water running here. From what I
you know,
can
no damp issues
tell.
here. Yeah.
And I think, is there a kitchen the other side? Or
No, I think theirs is the opposite side. They
Yeah.
come in through the side entrance,
yeah,
so they have a different configuration.
yeah.
I'll work it out.
Yeah, we'd like to know, to be honest,
What's causing that?
what's causing
Okay.
this, and you know, is it a common problem we've got here?
Yeah. Well, I'll find out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Turn the water off on both stopcocks outside, and it's making no difference to the flow of water. I wonder if you've got a tank upstairs in your neighbour side. Would you know? Cold water tank. Do you want to ask them? And then what you need to do is have a look in the tank and see if there's a drip. Otherwise, you've got a defective stopcock outside, and you should ask Thames Water to check it. And when they're doing that, you can check for a leak. But I would suspect a leak. There are essentially three sources of water in the four sources, should I say. There's a mains water leak, there's groundwater, which is very unlikely in this area, but you could have rainwater runoff at the back, which is what they think they've got next door. You could have a leak in the heating system, or you could have a drain leak. Now the drains run alongside your property, along the outside. They superficially they seem to be fine, because you've got all of them have water trapped inside them, which suggests that they're fine at the surface level. But of course you may have a crack in the underground, and we'll look and consider that shortly. This is your stopcock. There are two. They have a 90-degree twist. This is presumably your neighbour, and that's yours. That's yours back on now, but it wasn't turning the water off. Now there's a potential for there being a tank upstairs, and that feeding the tank and being all connected. And what you want to do is just see if you've got a drip on the stopcock upstairs, because that would indicate a leak somewhere in the property, which could be, of course, upstairs, but it could be yours. I suspect you've got water getting into the subfloor void somehow, and a leak is the most common way. Mains water leak could be the heating system, or it could be water from drainage.
Since last winter.
But you've done, you had to do it twice last winter.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
No.
That suggests that you've got a leak on the heating system.
Right.
So there are two reasons for loss of pressure. One is the expansion valve, which is within the system, and a heating engineer will be able to solve that. The other is a loss of water in the heating system, and that suggests that you've got a leak underground. So it's one or the other, and a plumber will be able to tell you. Essentially, a plumber will have to fix it, but identifying exactly where it is can be hard, because you have to lift floorboards. But the starting point is to find out whether it's the expansion valve, or whether it's the radiator that's leaking, or a pipe.
Okay.
Well, have you seen any signs of leaking on radiators? So there's a stain here. Oh, that looks like a leak. and down there, that's probably the water coming from here. So that could be benign insofar as it's not actually causing water to drop into the subfloor void. Right. And the only way you'd know is by fixing it and just seeing if there's pressure loss. It's been repaired at some stage. I'll just do this. Calibrating them, the relative humidity is 71%. It's raining outside, which might also explain why you had high humidity in the subfloor void. So I'm beginning to suspect that less, because I've had a look underneath the subfloor void to the front, and you don't have signs of dampness that you would normally have if you had a leak there.
Oh, that's good.
So hopefully that's not. But all the things I said about checking for the boiler to make sure that to identify where the leak is and to stop it, that's still relevant.
Okay.
And I'll get a plumber to just check that you don't have pressure loss on the heating system. But I don't think that's... And the other thing is I haven't been able to turn the water off at the stopcock, so I can't therefore test. But it may be that it's going into a tank into the upstairs flat, and then what you need to do is look to see if there's a drip on the stopcock when nothing's been used. If there is a drip, it may be benign, it may be just like a shower head or leaking tap or cistern. Have a check. But my gut feeling is you don't have that, but that's just belts and braces basically.
Okay.
They should all have the same temperature and humidity because they're near each other. But there's a slight variation, not a huge variation. This is what we're aiming for, 72.2 and 20.6, and I'll just change these to bring them into line. So it's topped out at 86%, but it was raining a few minutes ago, and that would be 100%. There would be a greater dew point, so we can quickly calculate that through. So that would be, the dew point would be actually less, probably. The dew point's probably less in the subfloor void than here. Interesting. So what I do is I take 86 from 100, so that's about 15, divided by 5, that's 3, and take 3 off that, would be 14.6, which is obviously less than 15.4, but that's a very approximate method. It's going to be similar dew point anyway. If not lower. So it suggests that you actually don't have water in the subfloor void, which I thought you had originally, but I was forgetting it was raining. You have got calcium sulfate salts, and you've got some signs of mould here. And you say you get a smell of mould, which suggests that excess vapour is your primary issue. Kitchen extractor fan doesn't exit, it just goes up here, and you can see it buzzing away, so it's not going out of there. So really you should have an extractor fan that goes out, especially with a kitchen which is internal, where a kitchen is open plan. Let's have a look at the bathroom one. Okay, so it's got an over on there. And that's running at 8.4. Should be 15. So the damp area was particularly around here, wasn't it? quite damp. I would move these lavenders back a bit if you can, by maybe you can't. A few inches will help anyway.
Yeah.
I'd also trim it, just try and keep it off the wall.
I think it's got to get it dyed. Yeah.
You've got a cold zone there because you've got the subfloor ventilation, which you need, but it causes heat loss in that zone, which with the cupboard means that you're going to get an area that's not going to benefit so much from heat because the cupboard stops the airflow, but you've got the cold zone, so it's vulnerable to condensation.
Oh, okay.
So that's that, and your bathroom extractor fan isn't remaining on. It needs to be on for half an hour. I'll see if I can improve it and keep the bathroom door closed, and the kitchen extractor fan isn't ducted out, so therefore you're not getting any benefit from the kitchen. What do you do for drying clothes when it's wet? Inside.
And humidifier, yeah.
Okay, well, it's good to have a dehumidifier, but it's not a very powerful one. It looks like a 10 litre, I can't see it on it, it's not, the markings seem to be missing, but it looks too small. It should be a bigger one because the rate at which water evaporates is too fast for a fan like dehumidifier like this.
Okay.
So 20 litre plus dehumidifier. Run it 24/7 as well, and keep an eye on the data with the data loggers, but it's more of a winter thing than a summer thing.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you some additional advice. So just some small things will go a long way to helping the problem. So keeping the plants away from the wall. So you can see there's dampness on the outside of the wall, but it's not penetrating the whole way through. But a damp brick is a poor insulator, so you get heat loss. It's made worse by the air brick there, but there's nothing you can do about that. That's the way it should be. But it's an explanation. You could think about insulating between the cupboard and the wall,
Right.
and that would mean that you're not going to get vapour and you won't get areas of low temperature, because mould is going to grow where the relative humidity goes above 85%, which is both temperature and vapour, and it's the lower the temperature, the higher the relative humidity, and the more risk that you've got of mould, and it won't find its way past cupboards because the heat won't get it will diffuse past the cupboard, but the heat won't get in, so you get high surface relative humidity around there.
Okay.
So that's the explanation why you're getting it there, and in all the different areas it's because of heat loss.
Okay.
So it's a bit fiddly, but I turned this to increase the timer on that, and I've cleaned it up a bit, as much as I could do. So in conclusion, I'm going to put the timber back, but your timber doesn't look damp. Although I thought it was humid, I was forgetting that it's actually raining outside, and so the internal and external subfloor humidity is not much, dew point isn't much different, so it probably isn't coming from underneath, which leads me to believe that it's coming from inside and your extractor fans aren't working, and so it's going to be a simple solution. I've improved your bathroom extractor fan, kitchen extractor fan, probably something. I would get a better dehumidifier and monitor the internal humidity and keep the internal dew point below the outside temperature at all times by increasing the ventilation and or dehumidification, and then you won't have problems. The specific area around here, it's difficult for me to know exactly, but I suspect it's something to do with the heat loss to the subfloor void. So any metal that's going through the subfloor void is going to take on the temperature of the subfloor void, which can be the same temperature as the outside. So if you've got metal in there, you can get heat loss. But then the issue is the vapour, and the secondary cause is the heat loss. Where you've got it here is because you're next to the bathroom, and you've got wiring up there. So the wire takes the heat away, and that's why you're getting it in that particular area. I would say you're getting some water forming on the floor, and you're getting that brown staining because it's coming past the timber. But I would say that's either just wash water from, leaving water on the floor, and or condensation forming on the floor. So that's just localized there. So good news is that it'll be very easy to do. The data loggers will help. This time of year you can't necessarily see that much, but I'll analyse what you've got and then I'll show you how to do it yourself going forward into the future.
Okay.
To me about the sockets, and they'll get water in them if they get condensation and it will cause them to fuse. And I believe that's the issue here. Starting point is to deal with the internal vapour, which you clearly got an issue with because of the lack of ventilation. And potentially there's an issue with the heating system because you're having to top it up. Keep an eye on that. And then you'll have to get a plumber to check to see whether it's the expansion valve or a leak, and if it's a leak they'll have to clearly fix it. But the subfloor void wasn't damp, suggesting that it isn't a leak in the subfloor void. An issue here because you've got clear air flow through the subfloor void, but ideally you shouldn't have decking right up against the wall. As much as anything else, the water will bounce up onto the wall higher up because of it. But I don't think it's a cause of your dampness. I'm just flagging it as something ideally not to have.